Hi, my name is Troy Rushton. If you are new to domain trading, then I'm sure you're about to be amazed at the opportunity to make money and to build a very profitable business. The internet is the greatest marketing, communication, and information medium in the history of the world, and domain names are its backbone. Just like people need oxygen, a website needs a domain name. I want to introduce you to the concepts behind trading virtual real estate, but let me introduce myself first. I am an internet entrepreneur, and I've been focused in the domain industry for the past 3 years and in the internet marketing space for the past 7, and I've never seen an opportunity quite like the one I'm about to share with you. I've traded thousands of domain names, including a portfolio of more than 120,000 names in one deal. More recently, I've been developing technology to make domain investing more efficient, and over the past year have been teaching people just like you from all over the world how to make money from trading virtual property. Now, to better understand this opportunity, let me give you some context. The first domain was symbolics.com, and it was registered on March 15, 1985. That domain is now owned by xf.com, which they acquired in 2009. The internet business is a $1.5 trillion industry, and it's projected to be a $4 trillion industry by 2020. Now, 5 popular websites in 1985 were Symbolics, Think, BBN, MCC, and DEC. Now, 5 popular websites today, which I'm sure you'll be more familiar with, are YouTube, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, and Live.com. The domain has gone through a lot of growth, and the domain and internet growth includes the price of registration, which is now about $10 a year with no property tax for a domain name. Many corporations buy domains just to prevent others from acquiring the name and because of a potential future market. The average cost of a premium domain name now exceeds $20,000 and is rising every day. Annual domain name sales are estimated to exceed more than $250 million. GoDaddy is the largest single registrar in the world. In 1995, there were more than 120,000 .com domains registered. Today, there are over 100 million domains.com that are registered. The longest domain name in the world is the longest domain name in the world, and then some more, and more .com. .com domain names are some of the most valuable real estate in the world. FB.com was sold to Facebook for $8.5 million, and YP.com was sold for $3.85 million. HP.com was the first 2-letter domain registered in 1986. There are only 676 possible 2-letter combinations. The 100th domain was registered on November 30, 1987, and the 2 millionth domain was registered on May 4, 1998. The most expensive domain name was $13 million for sex.com. 92% of US adults have access to internet and email, and between the largest 3 email providers, there are 1 billion users having more than 3.1 billion accounts. There are more than 2.1 billion internet users, and that's rising every day. And there are more devices connected to the internet than there are people on the earth. There's almost 100 million smartphones now connected to the web. The first emoticon was sent in 1979 by Kevin McKenzie. Ads first appeared in 1994 when Hotwire wanted to make some money from their website. AT&T was the first company to pay money for a web banner on October 25, 1994. When Facebook first started advertising, they had opportunities at 17 cents per thousand in 2009, and that is now more than $8 in 2013. Social media began in 2003 with the launch of MySpace and LinkedIn, was soon followed by Facebook, more recently Twitter, and there are now more than 70 million web blogs on WordPress. There have been more than 1 trillion video playbacks on YouTube, and there's more than 48 hours of video uploaded every minute to YouTube. So what does this all mean for you? This actually means that opportunity is knocking, and there's a massive opportunity to now get involved with trading virtual property. So now you understand the history. I want you to now understand there's a massive opportunity arising from this emerging market of virtual real estate. When compared with real property, virtual property is an extremely new opportunity. However, as you'll soon discover, there's an exciting opportunity that once you master it, has made many millions of dollars. Just like the wealthy property barons of the world, you too can become a wealthy virtual property tycoon from your own living room. trading domain names with buyers and sellers all over the world. The exciting thing about domain trading is that you don't need any marketing or technical skills, no degree, or even any prior experience is necessary. If you have ever bought a domain name before and you have access to the internet, you can make exciting profits from domain trading. As more consumers get online, more businesses are naturally getting online also, and the first step for every business getting online is to get a domain name for their website. Domain names are the 21st century real estate, and here's a great article in USA Today that validates this. What I really like about this article is that it says that the value of domain name industry could reach as high as $8 billion by 2013, and that's this year. And I know that all indications are that the industry is growing at a very fast rate and will continue to grow with or without you and with or without me. It's just going to grow anyway. With more than 225 million registered domains, 20 million domain owners, and 150,000 new investment opportunities every day, this is absolutely a business of massive scale and opportunity. This year alone, there will be more than 4 million new businesses in the US. Not to mention the countless other businesses expanding into new sectors and products. All of these opportunities require websites, and of course you can't have a website without a domain name. There is a huge opportunity to act now before you get left behind. So understanding virtual real estate is not difficult. Most of you will already have bought a domain or at least visited a website, and perhaps many different websites every day. We practically live online these days. Besides both being a great investment, virtual property and real property actually have a lot in common. Many of the terms you are familiar with in real property have an equivalent in virtual. The one major exception is that you can buy an income-producing virtual asset for as little as $12, and there are no foreclosures, bad tenants, or maintenance required with a domain name. Now here's a game I like to play. We all know it, it's called Monopoly. And we all know the difference between Baltic Avenue and Boardwalk is just one thing: location. Well, this is exactly the same as domains. Each domain has a different value. Understanding this value can make you tremendously wealthy. Now, just like Monopoly, he who has the most quality properties wins. So your goal is to build a large portfolio of valuable domain names. Now, to be hugely successful, there are 5 simple rules or tips I'd like you to follow. Tip number 1 is to do the right thing at the right time. As Anthony Robbins once said, buying your own home is the right thing, but buying it in 2006 was probably the wrong time. Simple tip number 2 is to begin with the end in mind. Know who you want to sell to before buying, and the more potential buyers you can identify before you make the investment, the quicker the possible sale. I want you to focus on a high ROI, low risk model, and always focus on maximizing your cash flow and not just your profits. Now, simple tip number 3 is only buy domains that people want to buy from you at a profit. Simple tip number 4, with 4 million new businesses starting this year in the US alone, they'll all need a website and of course a domain name. So the simple tip is to sell them one. Simple tip number 5 is to make money by not losing money. Keep your costs low and don't continue to renew domains that don't profitable for you. So why does domain trading really work? In simple terms, there are lots of houses in the world, but there is only one domain name called houses.com. It's a simple supply and demand model. The more demand and the lower supply, the higher the price. And with the domain names, they're all very unique. So once you get a good unique name, it can drive up the price. So how does this help business? Well, there's 1,300 customers every month looking for dentists Los Angeles because they don't know who to go to. 4,600 dentists in Los Angeles are using websites to compete for these customers in Google. So here's a practical example. I need a dentist in LA, but I don't know any. So you go to Google and type in dentist Los Angeles. Now, Joe Teeth is an LA dentist who pays $16 to Google for every visitor in the hope that they will become a customer. Now, Joe Dentist could receive free traffic from Google if he had a website called dentistlosAngeles.com, because that's an exact match to the searcher's intent. So a case study here, with 1,300 new customers looking for Dentist Los Angeles in Google every month and a price of $16 for Google to send you a visitor, we paid only $12 for the domain name dentistlosAngeles.com, and we sold it for $750. Now, to break even on this transaction, the buyer of Dentist Los Angeles only needed to get more than 46 visitors to make a profit on this purchase. And for Dentist, every one new customer is worth $10,000. Now, the really exciting thing here for a domain trader is that we made an ROI, that is a return on investment, of more than 6,000% on this transaction. Here's another article I like in the Sydney Morning Herald. It talks about timing and the domain name investmentproperty.com.au, which is the biggest domain name ever sold for an Australian domain. Now, for those of you that are new to domain investing, you should understand that domains are typically registered for 1, 2, 5, or 10 years. And at the end of the period, if you don't renew it, it will expire. When it expires, it goes to auction. When it goes to auction, anybody can buy it. Now, what I like particularly about this article was the last paragraph that said, people are just beginning to realize that domain names are valuable. Now, I want to put to you that I don't agree with that statement. People aren't just realizing this. People have actually been realizing this for a long time, but just not the masses. Here's another great article where Apple purchased iCloud.com for $4.5 million. Now, this domain was registered about 10 years ago, and each year it was renewed for $10. So $100 was invested, and it was sold to Apple for $4.5 million. Here's another article in Forbes talking about a young kid called Stephen McDonald who was failing at school, couldn't get his track and field results up, and was waiting to get into college, just wasn't having a great time. He bought a domain name for $620 called QSD.com, and 2 weeks later sold that domain for $12,000. Now, he just didn't rest on his laurels. He reinvested his profits, and in his first 12 months of trading made more than $325,000 flipping domain names. And here's another article about Jesse Stein, who bought a killer domain called Sports Memorabilia for $12,500, and in less than 7 years turned that domain into a successful business worth more than $20 million in retail. Now, some of you might be thinking, these are all great stories, but is there an opportunity here for you? Now, here's a diagram and a graph that shows a comparative domain trading to the NASDAQ. Now, the green line is IDNX, idnx.com, which represents the domain trading index, and that shows a comparison to the NASDAQ. And what it shows for the last 6 years consecutive, it's been better to be investing in domain names than it has in the NASDAQ. And folks, this opportunity is showing no signs of slowing down. Now, there are 3 paths to income when you're domain trading. One is to buy and hold, second is to buy and monetize, and the third is to buy and trade. Now, I've written down these 4 steps I'd like you to write down as well for your domain trading success formula. Step number 1 is to win a domain auction. We typically recommend GoDaddy, but there are other markets to win auctions at. Step 2 is to monetize the domain and earn a passive income while you're waiting to sell that domain. Step 3 is to list it for sale. And step 4, those that are really looking to maximize their ROI can actually do some marketing as well. But don't worry, you don't need to be a marketer. This e-course you're about to go through will show you all the different marketing techniques you need to be a successful trader. Now, for every hour you spend trading, here's what I recommend you split your time up into these different categories: research, buying, selling, marketing, and of course, completion of the transaction. Now, you'll see here the majority of the time that we recommend you spend is actually on marketing, because that's where you can get the maximum ROI. But with the system and the program you're about to go through, you're going to learn how to maximize all your time and efficiency using this 1 hour model. Now, think about it like this. Domain investing is all about removing the guesswork and understanding how to follow a step-by-step process to be a successful trader. Now, I believe everybody who's undertaking this program now can look at the diagram on the screen, which is paint by numbers. They can pick up a brush and they can follow the paint by numbers, and everybody listening to this video can get exactly the same result as this, because this is what painting by numbers is all about. And this is what we've done to domain trading. We've broken it down into a step-by-step formula, and if you follow this formula, you too can get the same results we have. Now, I'm very excited you've joined this program. This program is going to be a real life changer for you, and I hope if you stick with the program that you'll be able to get the results that we have. My name's Troy Rushton. On behalf of the team, I'd like to say welcome. Look forward to spending more time with you shortly. Bye for now.